Welcome back to Commercial Finance Experts Academy. My name is Su Chung, and my colleague Camilo Rodriguez today here is going to go and dive into more about the challenging about charging fees and in what situation is acceptable and how we provide the value enough so that it justifies our fees, right?
Okay.
So you just mentioned me during the conversation that when you have a sophisticated client that comes to you and asks for help in a complicated situation, maybe you can give us details about this one.
Yeah, well, there was this client who came to me on a small commercial file, right? And he already knew the answer to the question. He knew how to get financing from the lender.
Yeah.
But he called me and he asked me a few questions or whatever, and we were discussing the lenders and everything else. And then he goes, and I said, yeah, I can move forward with this, but my fee is going to be X amount of dollars. In that case, it was 1%. And then he goes, well, Camilo, but you know what? Why should I pay you?
That's right.
If I can go directly to this lender, we already discussed the lender, and
Yeah.
I can do it on my own. And I said, you know what? Excellent question, and I agree with you 100%. This is not rocket science. Of course, because I do this on a daily basis. I'm with all respect to you, I'm going to be way more experienced that you can ever be. Similar than in your line of business, I may know a lot, I may have read a few books,
Yeah.
but I cannot compare my knowledge to your knowledge. So I know quite a bit. If you want to get the best financing for your business, for that situation, for that line that you're looking for, submit it to that bank. And I would suggest that you submit it to this bank, you talk to this lender, and you talk to this lender.
Yeah.
Okay? So you talk to 4 lenders so you know if this lender is better, or you can negotiate a little bit among the 4.
That's right.
And then the next step you need to do is submit all your documents to all the lenders. And then be very organized so you get all the replies and all the questions, because every lender is going to ask you different questions about the deal.
Yeah.
Okay? So you go back and receive all those phone calls and emails and prepare detailed explanations without answering too much that,
Might blow the deal.
might blow the deal. But just be professional and send the right information out.
Okay.
And once you receive all that, maybe one may not approve it or whatever. From the 3 that did, just create a table and look at the pros and the cons, and then tabulate all that information and make your decision.
Sounds easy.
And then he was quiet, and I said, and you know what? You're right. I should charge more. I go, because I was only going to charge you like $4,500, and that's a lot of work for $4,500. You know what? But if you want to save that money, go for it. Immediately he says, no, Camilo, you're totally right. My time is worth way more than $4,500.
Yeah.
You do it, do everything. What do you need? Take care of it for me, and he paid the fee. One of the areas is not only knowledge. One of the areas of mortgage broker is knowledge.
Yeah.
The other one is organization, speed. There's tons of things.
Well,
right?
analytical, and as well as asking the right questions, not giving away too much. So there's a lot of sales involved as well as a relationship, right?
And one last thing now that we're talking about maybe fees and everything, super important, and I didn't figure this out in the beginning, is your market. So for example, if you are dealing a commercial deal with a small business owner that is scratching to start his own company,
Yeah.
and
Brand
cash flow
new.
is very tight, and maybe he doesn't have a lot of clients, and then you charge him a fee, probably he's going to have more time to, I want to save any single penny.
Yeah.
Right? But if you have a person who's successful and everything,
Then they shouldn't have a problem with that.
he will happily pay your fee, because for him this is a problem and he needs help.
Yeah.
And he can box it into a solution. Boom.
Well, the amount of time that they have to spend on something like that means it takes away from what they're supposed to be doing anyway.
Yes.
And that's part going to create a lot more loss than the commission.
And on the other side, if that doesn't happen, that means that maybe they shouldn't get financing because they're not making enough.
Yeah.
They're not making enough to pay for the mortgage. So yeah, it's another mindset, but
Yeah.
it has to do with what you've got in between your ears.
I think you're right. The touch base on the market, maybe on a separate video, but you're right. When you do have something like that, and they realize, because your clients are coming from a higher level, they own a business, they're a sophisticated type of investor, or they're well-heeled business person, so they understand time, the value of money.
The value.
Yeah.
of time.
And they know that it's going to take a few days. I mean, making $5,000 to them, they probably say, you know what? It's going to take me about a week to 2 weeks to get all this stuff. Wow, that's no. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's
It's like asking me this, Sue, you know, I can save $50 by cutting my own grass, but I look outside and say, oh, hell no. It's so hot. No, right?
But your responsibility is to become the best mortgage broker you can be, because sometimes people do not know what they don't know. Sometimes they take some financing and they didn't realize that by paying $4,500, they save $5,000 every year.
That's the thing. And that's the thing that we should touch base on now, Beauty, because it really is, our value is inside here, but we're not saying it. We're not showing it. We're not expressing it. So because of that, I believe that's a lot of stumbling, a lot of mind block from charging the fee. Right? So hopefully you take something away from this video, is that yes, it might be a market base, perhaps it might be is that the client doesn't understand the process and doesn't see the value. So what I took away from what Camilo has mentioned, that you need to really explain in detail how your value is. What's your proposition? I mean, you can say, oh, you know, I'll call, make 3 phone calls, and if the client only thinks that you make 3 phone calls and you can charge them $5,000, of course they don't see the value in that. But if you exactly explain and go what Camilo did, that sounds exhausting, right? So it's not just about, I guess Robert does this great thing, Robert Klein does a great thing about this. He creates the problem, and what you created was the problem. The problem with their mentality is that they think it's an easy call to get this done. But what you created was a huge problem. What is that? Well, I gotta call these 4 people, I gotta understand this process, I gotta take this much time to do, I gotta be careful how I answer, and it's like, well, that's way out of their comfort zone already. Forget about the time commitment, right? So the comfort zone is one thing, that's a huge problem you just created. They don't like that.
One of the best things to let them understand the problem that they're at is, and I've done this several times, both on residential and commercial. It doesn't work on purchases, because on purchases you have a time limit to get the financing done.
Yeah.
But if it's a refinance and I know that there's challenging and everything,
Yep.
I tell them what the fee is going to be, and they say, well, Camilo, let me think about it. And I say, yeah, by all means, think about it. So let's do the following. I'm going to put this application on hold. I'm not going to do anything. Go and search for a solution that you think is going to work for you better.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you can go directly, whatever. I'm all for that.
Yep.
If there's any issue with the problem, call me back. If not, I really wish that you can refinance your property on those terms, and I'm happy for you.
Yep.
All the best. And then I keep on my business, and guess what? A lot of times I get a call 2 weeks later. Oh, Camilo, this is too much. Help me out. They don't respond to my phone calls. They don't call me back. They never tell me this. They don't tell me about this fee. They.
Yeah.
And then what I need to do is explain everything as much as I can detail I can up front, so there is no surprises.
And that's the thing, we take it for granted. And we take it for granted we know all this stuff. We know exactly what to expect, how it's going to happen, what's going to possibly outcome, what potential pushback. Clients are not expecting any of that. They're like overwhelmed, right? And they would have no idea how to respond. So I think what the takeaway is that we are not showing our value. We're not expressing what it is that we do completely.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm a mortgage broker. You have to ask the clients all sorts of questions, and perhaps maybe we'll share some of that on the next video. Okay, so the takeaway of this is you need to not just to say you're a broker, you need to explain the process in detail, explain how it is you can get it done, and show them how difficult, how time consuming, and perhaps how uncomfortable they have to get to be able to do your job. Right?
And in all fairness, it could also be your market. There's some markets.
Let's get into that one next video. So this is getting long. So thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Signing off, Sue, Camilo.
See you guys.
Take care.